Day 140. Oh,
Oops. Day 140. So, Sean and I are going to work on the pitch deck tonight. We have 14 days, and we're going to start pitching to investors again, or I should say for the first time. The first one got canceled. I've worked out for 134 days now, which is kind of crazy because I think in like 20 or 30 more days, I'll have done it for 100 days straight, which is amazing, right? Like, who saw that coming? I am not a workout person, but I just found a way to make it simple, and it's been nice. So it's been good. I did eat better last night, but our house is full of Halloween candy, so it's not going well. But I'm not going crazy with it. But I just got the phone with my wife, and I don't know. We're just happy, She passed her boards and got a really good fellowship, and we're kind of just enjoying it for hopefully a little while before new problems strike up. There's this phrase that got coined in therapy with me a couple years ago, which is like Jay-Z has a song about 99 problems, and it's a great song, and I know probably all the lyrics to it, but I think it's a human thing that we do, which is if we ever have 99 problems and we actually solve one of them, that we immediately go and look and find involuntarily, without choice, a 99th problem, a new one, to a new want or need, a new longing for something, a new thing that you're overwhelmed with need or want to have. And it's always funny because I feel like that want for that 99th problem creates this tension in our life that we don't feel fulfilled. I don't want to use the word happy. We don't feel fulfilled. We just don't feel right, But then when you get it, when you finish that 99th thing, or you complete it, or you win or something, that 99th task, your brain kind of goes into confusion mode for a couple days or a couple hours, depending who you are, But the really, really big wins, they're usually a couple days. I give it 2 to 3 days. At the very max, probably 3 days. And which is crazy, right? You spend 6 years of your life trying to achieve something, and you do, and then 3 days later, you totally don't even care. Don't really remember. You don't not care, but it feels like it's just not on the top of your brain anymore. It's now a part of you. It's not something you need to work towards. It's a possession of yours that you get to put on the wall and look at sometimes. But it's not something that you feel overwhelmed with satisfaction anymore, or drive to fix it. And I think one of the hardest things to do as a human is to recognize that is our cycle of it's like a rubber band. We pull to struggle and get through the drive of achieving that thing. And then if we ever do, there's a release of the rubber band, and it we feel euphoric and so overwhelmed with happiness and calmness, and you feel secure and safe, and then after a few days, somebody starts pulling on the rubber band again in a new direction. I need to now go be more fit. I need to now fix the house. I need to go buy a better car. Or, something else happens, and you're off to the races in that direction with that new 99th problem in your life. And I think it's the hardest thing on earth is to just laugh at yourself, laugh at this stupid brain that can't just be happy with what you have and can't appreciate how hard it was to achieve that 99th problem. sometimes years to achieve that big long-term goal. And if you're good at that, please give me a call, because I wanna know how to get good at that. But it's hard. I feel like, first of all, recognizing recognizing the pattern of your behavior is step zero. Like, if you don't recognize that that's what you're doing, you need to reflect more, and you need to talk to somebody more. You need to think about why you're having these wants and needs. And I think that, I would say, anytime you're wanting or needing something, you should probably open your mind a little bit and say, what's happening? What's causing this? What is about this is so overwhelming, and why did I need this thing? Did I want this thing 3 weeks ago? And if I didn't, maybe that tells you something. If you've wanted it for years and years and years, maybe that tells you something. But either way, the longer you can live having 99 problems and pretending you don't, or completing that 99th problem, and the amount of time you can wait before you add a new one, a new goal, a new longing, a new need, I think that's the key to happiness, is to recognize that you will always have 99 problems no matter what you do. If you can achieve everything, you will still have a 99th problem in your life coming soon or right now. And when you do have it, how can you hold on to that feeling of achievement and success and calmness and stability, even when you start adding new problems? And how do you maintain that wisdom that you gain a bunch of wisdom when you complete your 99th problem and you're back down to 98. You go, oh crap, look at it. The sky is so blue. Everything's so nice. Everything is so much better than I thought it was. Look at this beautiful place I live in. You start to recognize and appreciate things before you start finding a 99th problem. And it's hard. I think I've made it 3 or 4 days before I added a new 99th problem. And now I try to just remind myself several times throughout the day that I have no real problems, that these are all made up for me. I have enough food. I have enough money to live on. I have amazing people in my life. Every problem I have is made up. At the end of the day, what am I really struggling with to survive in real life? I'm struggling to meet some random expectation that I've set for myself that probably has no logic to it. And that's how we live our life most of the time. So nothing's wrong with that. It's just, it's also not a place you want to be in permanently. Life's a balance of the rubber band being pulled and the rubber band being let go. And I think recognizing that cycle is important so that you don't find yourself in it, upset that you're, in part of it that you don't like. But I think it's part of growing up is realizing that the rubber band's going to keep pulling if you like it or not, You might as well just, when it's really, really pulling really tight and you're really upset because you didn't get that thing, or you really want that thing, or that thing in your life that you just need to have is still out of reach, that one day the rubber band will let go. And vice versa. When it's let go, know that a new want and need is coming soon. And I think the trick to having a happier and more wise life is to, first of all, accept that. But, try to recognize it while it's happening. Try to notice that you're out of problems. And now you're looking for new ones, because I guarantee those new ones are going to feel like they're as important as the original ones that you solved. The problem we all originally solved is learning how to walk. That's learning how to talk. That's learning how to care for ourselves generally. And that's learning how to learn. And that's learning how to love, I would say. And once you achieve those things, I think the rest are kind of just like nice to haves, you know? I'm sure people would disagree with me, but I think the trick is to recognize that when the rubber band's pulling really tight and you're really, really heartbroken about that thing that you really wish you had or bought or found or needed, or, you know, that person that you miss, whatever. There's going to be a day in the future where you don't care about that thing anymore. And it's not to be sad, it's to be wise that nothing is permanent. Everything is transient and moving, including your feelings right now about that thing, that they're going to change and you're going to be happy or frustrated about that task or that problem for a long time, you know? And just within my own life, I'm in like a long-term project with Pad Stats, but every week is a rubber band pull of like, God, I wish I could just do this. I got to do this. I got to work on that. You know, this has to be done. That has to be done. And then we'll move on to the next stage. And then I achieve it, and then we move on to the next stage. Move on. Every time I achieve it, I have like an hour of like euphoric, like, oh, I achieved it. We finished that part of the process. We finished that project. You know, this is great. Maybe I'll have an extra like piece of chocolate tonight or something to like celebrate. And then the next day, what do? I wake up and I'm frustrated because I add another 99th problem that I can't do. I can't solve. I don't know how to do this yet. And and here we are. That's life. That's literally how life works. So I don't think I have all the answers there yet, but I think it's I think noticing that it's going to happen regardless of whatever you do is helpful, because it feels less like a thing that you need to accomplish or else, and more like a feeling like when you get hungry. And the more I've started relating my emotions to hunger, the more they've made sense to me. Like I know I'm going to get hungry if I don't eat for 3 or 4 hours. Okay, that's how my body works. So it makes sense to follow that same logic around and say, maybe my humanness, maybe I get sad 3 days every month, or maybe a different person gets sad 20 days every month. And that's just their normal cycle, their normal cadence of their humanity, you know. And I might get hungry, I might get sad, I might get happy, I might get frustrated, I might want quality time with my wife, I might want quality time with my kids, all at different frequencies for me. And they all might want all those things at different frequencies for them. And it's hard because we're all struggling to achieve our 99th problem every moment of every day. But most of the time, it's driven by some sort of version of hunger pains for that thing, and sometimes the food for that hunger isn't available at that moment. You know, it's someone else's responsibility. It's not possible, time or money or energy. And I think the thing that's really helped my marriage is recognizing that most of our fights or confusing moments or disagreements were hunger moments for our personal people, like our personalities or our humanity. And the more we point to it as a need of me, that might not be a need for you at this exact moment, the less it's personal, and it's like that you're purposefully trying to hurt me or purposefully not helping me, or you know, some sort of you don't care enough. I think the caring goes out the window if you just say, I'm not hungry right now, in that way, you know? And so I think that was a decent rant about all that, but I was just thinking about that as I was getting off the phone with my wife, that she's really happy right now, and I know we're going to have a 99th problem coming soon. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with her, the situation or anything. It's just, I'm so curious what it's going to be, what her new goal is going to be, because she just achieved a big one. and I'll tell you, I guess, how many days it takes. I'm gonna guess 3, and it's not because, like I said, it's not because there's anything wrong with her. It's because she's human, and that's what we do as humans, to keep living. The hard part is, you could say, why do we do this? Can I stop doing this? And I'm sure there's some monks out there that would argue you can. I would argue you can't. I would argue it's how we're wired. I would argue that it sucks that we have it because it makes our life miserable. But if we didn't have it, we wouldn't take over the world. We wouldn't get off the couch. We wouldn't learn how to walk. We wouldn't leave our mother's womb. We would just die. And so somewhere in our DNA or evolution or whatever, we've grown this perspective that if we're not growing, we're dying. If we're not achieving, we're dying. If we're not, worrying, we're dying. If we're not trying, we're dying. And it's hard because it feels overwhelming, but it's our humanness. It's what makes us great. It's what makes us powerful, and so we can be powerful and unhappy, or powerless and happy. It's kind of how our brains are wired, and so we usually choose powerful and unhappy, compared to other animals and things like that. And the hard part is to just recognize that your brain is going to do it regardless. So, just remember that. Don't let it overwhelm you. Just remember it's part of who you are. The same way, if you know how to walk and talk, if you get hungry, it's just like getting hungry again, is wanting another thing, wanting another achievement. So just like me, look at, these are my achievements, and I'm either red or green on, and I'm thinking about adding more, because why not? We always want more. So I'll keep working on my goals, you keep working on your goals, and I'll see you tomorrow.